All right, guys, how's it going? Thanks to those of you that joined me on the live stream this evening. I only did about an hour and a half because I've got a lot of videos I'd like to get out to you this evening before I settle down for the night, all right? So I would like to have done these this afternoon, really, but I think that traveling and being away and stuff caught up with me a little bit. I was exhausted this afternoon, so I had to have a nap. Anyway, let's see if I can get through these for you. So you will have seen that Paul Joyce at the Times published an interesting article today. As you know, Paul Joyce is a journalist that I pay very, very close attention to, the best journalist concerning Liverpool Football Club, you know, alongside David Ornstein, obviously those two. Paul Joyce, very close to the people that run the club on a day-to-day basis. When Paul Joyce publishes an article, I always think, what does Michael Edwards want me to know? So basically, this article, if you haven't read it, you can Google it. Liverpool open talks with Crystal Palace over Marc Guéhi. It might be behind a paywall, I'm not sure. I pay for the time, so it just logs me in automatically. If you can't access it, there's a website called archive.ph where you can paste in the links in the second box down, which will open up these kind of things for you. Whereas I say, I pay for the Times and the Athletic because I think they're very good publications. So the opening blurb, I'm not going to read the article to you, but I'm going to go over the key points from the article, right? And obviously I've got Dave, my AI assistant that I've been training since last year to study football reports, the journalists that write them, and the platforms and publications that publish them and host them. Dave is going to contribute too. So, and I know that you really like to see what he's got to say. So basically the article starts by saying, club also stepping up interest in Parma's Giovanni Leoni. But deals for defenders are not dependent on each other as champions look to reinforce squad for title defence. Now, as you guys will know, there's been a lot of frustration over, a lack of activity regarding centre-backs, right? It's all been the focus on, these more attack-minded players and the Isak situation. But what I've been saying for a long time is, because there has been no speculation about centre-backs and no real chatter, it made me think that Liverpool had those options stacked, if you like, which is a phrase, I've coined previously, where Liverpool know how much it would cost to make a deal happen, how much the personal terms are, the player wants to move, the club will do business, they've only got to just step up and go, okay, here's the bid. That to me is stacked, right? And because it's been so quiet on the centre-back front, I've always believed that to be the case. And I've also believed that we would turn to the centre-backs and hear about the centre-backs when there was some clarity with the Isak situation. So that could be a positive sign as well. I don't know, but it could be a positive sign that, right, we've got a good idea what's happening here. We can now focus on that. Now, remember, when Paul Joyce publishes an article or Ornstein goes on some network somewhere and tells us things about Liverpool, I always think, who does this benefit? Who wants this out there? Why am I reading it? Why am I hearing it? Always ask yourself those questions when you go through any of these things, see any of these developments. So it basically says Liverpool have opened talks with Crystal Palace over Marc Guéhi and are stepping up interest in Parma's Giovanni Leoni as they seek defensive reinforcements before the end of the month. I actually think that we will sign both of these players. What I've said in the last few weeks is I thought that we would target a proven centre-back, experienced centre-back, and maybe a rookie, a younger player. I've got to be honest with you, I wasn't sure we would do both because I thought it would be quite some outlay for it. But what I find interesting is that all this is happening now after there was a video on here the other day called the Mail Stand feature, which was one about, there was claims sent to me that Liverpool would probably go in with a bid at the back end of the week. Do you remember that for Guéhi? So that's interesting. I have got some Mail Stand emails coming up for you after this video tonight. I've got a few things for you. I'm not going to read the article to you. I'm just going to look at the analysis and key positives, okay, from it. And this is a combination of myself interacting with Dave. And basically, the article talks underway for Marc Guéhi, Joyce flat out confirms Liverpool are in discussions with Palace over a £30 million plus £5 million add-ons deal. That's a concrete advanced stage compared to the usual interest wording. And the figure sounds good. I think that sounds attractive to Liverpool. Leoni interest is real and serious. Liverpool rate him as the best young centre-back in Europe. That's a big endorsement to slip into an article, and Joyce doesn't do that without purpose. Not a one or the other situation. Liverpool are willing to sign both Guéhi and Leoni. That signals serious defensive strengthening rather than a like-for-like replacement. Clear need equals urgency. Gomez is injured. Konaté's future uncertain. Quansah sold. Joyce is laying the groundwork for fans to expect multiple signings before the window shuts. Pathway talk shows awareness. Liverpool know Leoni may hesitate to leave Italy ahead of a World Cup, but they're working to reassure him, a sign that they're actively problem-solving to land him. Chairman publicly open to selling Guéhi. Steve Parish has already admitted they'd sell at the right price to avoid losing him for free, meaning the path to a deal is much smoother. Tone and implications. This isn't speculative fluff. Joyce's opened talks language suggests Liverpool are in the room with Palace, which for him is basically confirmation something is brewing. He's mentioned that Leoni is the best young centre-back in Europe is a direct sell to the fans and possibly even to Leoni himself. Joyce knows his words get noticed by players' camps. I can't stress how much I agree with that statement there. The lack of dependency between the two deals screams ambition. This is Liverpool looking to stockpile quality, as Rafa Benitez would say, quality, for sure, for a title defence, not just patch holes. And you will have seen after Joyce's article, others piggybacking on it, you know, the clique of Liverpool journalists, you all know everything that's happening now. Everyone knows everything. You know, you're going to see people saying personal terms are agreed, the ITKs, there's a very good chance this is going to happen. So they'll go in with the personal terms are agreed, fees agreed, all that shite. You're going to be subjected to all that. Remember, Liverpool and no other football club bids for a player unless personal terms have already been agreed indirectly, right? Because what would be the point of chasing Isak, for example, spending months on that, negotiating all the drama, all the shit and everything, and you agree a fee, and then you go, right, how much do you want? 450 grand? Fuck off, silly cunt. And then it's off. So it's nonsense when you see this, guys. Just don't get excited about personal terms agreed and all that shit, right? It's common sense, all right? Now, one thing I'm just going to briefly mention to you regarding centre-backs. You might not have seen my other videos or my other commentary. It's been 14 days now in Madrid, in Spain in general, that Konaté has not been mentioned with Real Madrid going there on a free. It's been 14 days, absolute radio silence. I have an email coming up for you to do with Fresh Konaté Talks. It's part of the mail stand feature. It will be coming up this evening as I try and get through these emails. I'm going to sign off now because I've got a lot to do for you and I'd love to get all this stuff out tonight. I'm sure I could sit here and waffle on and like I usually do and offer you a lot more opinion and a lot more commentary from other journalists regarding this situation. But what would be the point? You've got the best journalist there. He's going with that. Liverpool are cool with him going with that. That's the only person you need to listen to with regards to this situation right now. Him and Ornstein. Shits and giggles, you know, you're going to listen to a bit of Fabrizio Romano. Mo Salah! Him, rent a tweet. But yeah, with this, Paul Joyce is the man. All right, trust me. All right, guys, I'll leave you with that. Loads coming up tonight. You won't get notifications, I think, because you can only get so many notifications on YouTube within a 24-hour period. I haven't even done my morning briefing today on my other channel. I'm going to try and do that as well. So that'll be coming up shortly if I can get through these videos. If you found this video informative, you enjoyed the video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment on the situation. And if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, there's a super thanks button under the video. I give a shout out to everyone in my briefings, my morning briefings, on my other channel. The link to that, it will be an evening briefing or debriefing today. The link to that channel, the Duncan Oldham channel, is in the video description of this video, and it will also pop up on the screen. All right, guys, So more coming up, stay with me, but you might have to check the channel page yourself manually, click on the username, because I don't think YouTube will ping a notification to you because of the amount of videos that I've recorded so far today. Okay guys, cheers.